Okay, so what I'm going to go over is the ribbon bar at the top, and I'm just going to quickly go through the drop downs and where you'll find certain things within the Dart application. If you're looking for anything that is concerning loading a report, adding reports, adding CDRs, things such as that for analysis, you're going to find that under the File option. And you'll see Load Device, Load Report, Load CDR, Showcase Tree, export, load package, and exit. Those are all located under your file option. Load device, that is or loading a report there where you actually have physical control of the evidence item. So you have the phone in your custody and you're loading the device, not just a report. So we're going to add more detail. We're going to add pictures of the device. We're going to add pictures of the back of the data plate. We're going to add pictures of maybe things that are on the screen or other recognizable features of the device. Maybe show some cracks or some damage to the phone so that we can document it. You're also going to look or add in your report information through the load devices. We're going to add things such as things we see. Does it have Bluetooth? Does it have an external antenna? Is it a flip phone? What type of phone is it? So we're going to be able to add a lot more detail to our device or detail to our phone by using the load device report option. And we'll go through the load device in detail. Load report. So if I just have a report, so someone emails me a Celebrite or XRY report and it's an XML format, or some other report is in XML format, like an oxygen report, I can load that directly by just selecting load report. And load report will then load those items in that are useful for analysis. So it'll bring in my phone books, it'll bring in my contact records, it'll bring in SMS messages, things such as that. Things that I can correlate in the analysis tab. Things it won't bring in. It won't bring in documents, and it won't bring in spreadsheets and things such as that because I don't have the ability to correlate that in my analysis tab. I can't do any nodal type of analysis on that. Load CDR. Load CDR allows me to bring in call detail records. So if I have call detail records where I have phone numbers and I have calls that have been made, I can load those into my Dart application. I can do analysis on that CDR and compare that with the devices that are within my other system or my other reports. So if I have a couple of cell phones and I want to show that correlated to a CDR of a phone that we don't have, I may be able to show call records and patterns from a CDR as they apply to other phones, or I may just be able to use that to import the CDR records to show phone calls, things such as that, from a phone that we don't have in our actual possession yet. And this can be useful if you're looking at a third-party phone or a phone you recognize from your other analysis tools, and you want to add that detail or that information into your case or report. And then showcase tree. This is just like our home button. What that does is that takes us back out to our main screen. So we have our case detail on the left-hand side, our tree, and our detail records on the right-hand side, as we saw when we first came in. Export. Export allows me to export a package or send a package out into an XML form. This export allows me to save the records and the screens as I see them on my Dart application. So the export is a useful tool for me saving all of my reports. Load package. This loads in the exported packages. So once I've exported something out and I want to bring it in, the load package loads it in from that export format that I sent out. Load package only works and is a proprietary load from our export packages. You can't bring in other packages such as XRY, Celebrite, Paraben, etc. You actually have to use the R import format. And that's our load package. And then exit, that simply exits the system and closes down all the database connectors, etc., giving you a clean exit. All right, preferences. Preferences allows me to use the preferences module. So this allows me to set up all the settings within the Dart application. Bookmarks. Bookmarks is my controller and shows me all of the bookmarks that I have created in the system. So this allows me to control my bookmarks and show the bookmarks in a clear, concise manner so I can identify those things that are important to me. Database controls. Simply, database controls the database. If I want to clean the database, if I want to refresh the database, if I want to create a new database controls allows me to do that stuff. So database controls is very important, and we will be using database controls a little bit later on when we show you how to clean and prepare your database for a new set of reports in case. Global Layer Manager. Global Layer Manager allows me to add layers to my mapping tool in a global form, so I can create global formats. So if I have some set of data that I like to add to every report by selecting a global perspective. So let's say I have every cell phone tower mapped in my area. I can use the Global Layer Manager to pre-format those cell phone towers onto my map. So I just choose that that layer, and it goes straight onto my map. Okay, the Analysis tab. Analysis tab is set up to provide me quick access to my different analysis options. Watch list is a list of items that I'm looking for within my reports. Shared images, these are images that are shared amongst my reports. Geotagged images, these are images that have metadata that has geo information in it, longitude and latitude information. Cross communication is communicating to and between two nodes, or allowing me to start doing my nodal analysis. Common communication allows me to see not only my direct communication, but also shows my indirect communication. SMS conversations. This allows me to see all of the SMS and media conversations that are going on inside of my phone. Communication grouping shows me all of the people that are talking on the phone and on the phone reports and who the biggest talkers are. So it may give me an idea of who's actually using the phones more. It may tell me a little bit about hierarchy. If I've got someone that's controlling or coordinating, this may show me that person. My search feature. The search feature allows me to do a basic search of the data within my data sets. Now, this is not a Boolean style search. It does not give me lots of options. This is a very basic search, allowing me to go through and look for data. I do have the ability to add a couple of wildcards, and we'll cover all that in our search video. Timeline graphs. This allows the investigator to create timeline graphs based on timelines instead of doing reports based on conversations and metadata. This allows me to lay everything out in a timeline and see when people are communicating and when things may have occurred. So if I have a investigation and I know the exact time and date, I may be able to correlate the time and date or information around that time based on my timeline graphs. And then mobile finance. This allows me to execute searches looking for Bank of America or Wells Fargo, Chase, M-Pesa, things such as that. Allows me to look for specific financial transactions within the text messages of the device. These are all pre-formatted, and we'll cover how we use that tool a little bit later on. Under the Tools tab, we have our manual case. Manual case allows me to import phones that I can't import using the regular tools. This is a way of me bringing in reports for phones that are not recognized or not able to be extracted by XRY, Cellebrite, Paraben, or the other tools that are out there. Portal. This is our information portal. Portal gives me some basic information on phones and phone devices that are out there. This is not a 100% database. This is a 80% solution for research. This is based on the known records and known IMEIs. And this database, again, is about an 80% or has about 80% of all the phones that are out there in the world. So it is a good resource. It will provide you information where your Cellebrite or XRY does not cover something. Our tool may cover it for you. Our portal browser. This gives us the ability to upload our our reports and our case information directly into external portals. If you're in the military, it might allow you to upload it to a Don ISIS application or one of the SOCOM portals. If you're law enforcement, it may allow you to log into the Hoover application or some of the other applications that allow you to import records directly from this application to a larger repository. Global Contacts. Global Contacts allows me to track and manage organizations and people. This is a small intelligence file, and it provides me some intelligence mapping for tracking of people and organizations. So if I'm following a gang, I can put in the gang information, then I can add all the people, and I can add their addresses, which then I can map onto the map. So there's a lot of information that I can do with Global Contacts. Our mapping application, which is our second largest application within the DART application. Mapping allows me to import and show call detail records on the map. Allows me to map out phone calls. Allows me to map out maybe travel of people as they're communicating across a landscape. So it gives me a topographic view of the call detail records. And sometimes when you're doing court testimony, having that ability is very important. The Hex Viewer. Hex Viewer is a very simple tool. Simply will show you the hex of a file. So if you're looking to see if there's some type of corruption or maybe some steganography, things like that inside of a file, the Hex Viewer will give you that information. Our P-List Viewer. The P-List Viewer, this will allow us to see the Apple files, the manifest P-List, things such as that. It's a very basic P-List viewer. It's a good P-List viewer, but it is not as robust as some of the other ones out there. And we will talk about that as we talk about the P-List viewer. But again, it's good for doing your initial investigations, and it does come with the DART application. Our SQLite viewer, if you're doing Android style investigations, the SQLite viewer allows you to go in and grab data through your SQLite or from the SQLite databases that are a part of the Android application or Android phone set. SQLite is a very useful tool which allows you to dig into the databases. So you may find some deleted data, etc., that are in your SQLite databases. Data extraction, depending on the package that you purchase from HTCI or from the forensic store, you will have SIM utilities, which is part of every one of the purchases. It comes with DART. The Android Ripper. Android ripping tool has been provided for most cases. Sometimes the ripping tool is not added, depending on what the customer requests. But the Android ripping tool, we are providing that as a part of the application. It's a free option. The Android ripping tool does older Android phones, does not do the newer phones. So if you have older phones and you need a ripper for those older phones, our tool will help you with that. And then an extractor. So depending on which extractor, if you have an extractor, you purchase an extractor with it. This one's showing the oxygen extractor. If you have an extractor purchased with the DART application, this is where you'll find that extractor. And this extractor will then bring the data directly into your DART application, which can be quick and useful for you. Reporting. The reporting tab allows me the access to my reports. So I can create a report, I can fill out my evidence forms, I can fill out my chain of custody, I can do my cell phone report. So these are the basic reports that are a part of the DART application. This facility is not as intuitive as I would like it to be, but it is a very good utility. It is going to be better in 3.2, so I'm very much looking forward to the update or the upgrade of the reporting tool, and you will get the reporting tool in your updates. The reporting tool does right now allow me to create an investigator report or a prosecutor report. The evidence forms and the chain of custody forms, depending on what option you choose out of your preferences, will choose either the Army, the Navy, or the law enforcement form set. So whichever form set is chosen is going to be the one that shows up in these reports. Our help facility, basically you're going to go back to this manual here, because this manual is going to be the authoritative manual for the Dart application. So you'll have your guides, and you'll have your help manual found under this help option. And then home, this simply takes us back home, and it shows you the tree. This is the way to get back out of any of the applications. You start getting into things and you're like, oh, I just need to start fresh. Click on home. That'll take you back to the main screen. It'll clear up all the sub-menus and menus you may have open and kind of get you started fresh again. The other option on your toolbar here is your search button. And if you type in something in your search bar or search bar up here, this is a global search. This will go through the SMS. It will go through the phone records, phone contact records, and if there is something found that or in those that matches what you're looking for, this will show that in your Dart detail screen. Okay, and we'll cover the search and the search capabilities in much greater detail later. So these are your basic menu controls. Uh, all of your menu controls are accessible throughout the application, so no matter where you go, you'll have this ribbon bar at the very top. You'll have the search at the very top, so you should be able to get to any of your applications or jump back and forth between applications very quickly. Um, we will be going into each one of these in other videos. So as you go through uh, the manual here, you will find more videos, and you will find specific videos to each one of the tabs and each one of the programs within uh, the program itself.